Okay, let's talk about embryo banking. So embryo banking is when we bank or freeze a certain amount of embryos before we do a transfer. And that can be, as many as we want or as many as we can get before a transfer. So for if you can get 3 chromosomally normal embryos, that will give you a 92 to 93% chance of a live birth. So in theory, you should be getting 3 good chromosomally normal embryos per live birth that you want. So if you want 2 kids, you would get 6. However, this is a very high bar that most of us or a lot of us can't reach, and it can feel really upsetting when we can't even get the embryos and bank the embryos that we want. And some of the reasons is, well, one, in other countries they're not testing embryos, so they're only banking embryos to have multiple embryos, but they don't know if they're chromosomally normal or not. Or there's people whose embryos are not making it to the blastocyst stage where they can't even test them at all. So then they're banking day 3 embryos, right? So you can bank chromosomally normal embryos, you can bank day 5 embryos, you can bank day 3 embryos, you can bank, if you have some mosaics or segmentals or other different kinds of embryos, you can also be saving and freezing those, right? The idea is just to do as many rounds as you can and freeze the embryos before you do a transfer, because especially for older women, if you're younger, this is not a big thing. If you're younger, you can just do a retrieval, do a transfer. If it doesn't work, go again, right? But for people who are like my age, I'm 41, the older we get, the more chromosomally abnormal embryos we have, or eggs that we have, which turn into chromosomally abnormal embryos. So we want to get them out of our body as soon as we can. So it's better in an ideal world to be doing multiple retrievals before we go do a transfer, because of the time that it all takes, plus the different protocols and everything. Like, we're working on egg quality right now, and that's a very different protocol than working on transfer protocols. But also because it's also like not all of us are going to get here, and the reasons is finances. Do you know how expensive it is to go through multiple rounds of IVF? And then what about the physical toll? And some people's bodies can't handle more rounds of IVF, and so you just have to stop. Or different emotions, people's just emotions, they can't handle it emotionally anymore. If it was up to me, I would continue. I would at least do 6 rounds. However, for reasons that I'm not gonna, unfortunately, I can't really share out loud, I'm going to be stopping after this 4th one. But if it was my choice, I would not be. I would keep going to 6 because my body seems to be handling well, my emotion seems to be handling well, finances doable, but there's another component that is causing me to need to stop now. So all that to say is there's this kind of pressure that we're supposed to bank all these embryos. In reality, for so many reasons, we can't. And we can just do and work with what we're working with. And so that's what embryo banking is. Please don't let it feel like a pressure if you can't get to where we're supposed to get here. You're not alone. Reach out for any support.